Good evening, I'm Sydnee Scofield. A recent uptick in violent crime is plaguing Pueblo's east side. Multiple people shot and killed, others shot, thankfully still alive. In response, the Pueblo Police Department is putting more boots on the ground in that part of town. Storm Tracker 13 meteorologist Nick Carter is with us now. And Nick, we're talking about those 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts that's making things very tough for fire crews. We're just learning mandatory evacuations are underway right now in this area on County Road 89. The sheriff's office telling residents to evacuate now. No word, though, on the size of the fire. We do want to give you one last look at the Pueblo wildfire burning right now. Our crew has been out there for hours. We know it started just before 2 o'clock this afternoon. Already caused an animal shelter and a water treatment plant in the area to be evacuated. To COVID-19 coverage now. Weekly COVID-19 cases in southern Colorado increasing across many counties. You can see on this chart here that El Paso County saw more cases this week, about 200 more than last week. We do want to now give you a live look outside this evening in southern Colorado from atop Cheyenne Mountain, thanks to our Colorado Lottery camera. We got lucky with more of that sunshine today. Gosh, it was gorgeous out there. Storm Tracker 13 meteorologist Nick Carter is with us tonight. And Nick, we shouldn't get too excited about all this blue sky and sunshine.
Right before we came on the air, they were trying to clinch the win. And Sydnee Stowe here was just losing her mind. That is what March Madness is all about.
We were down by 2 when I had to come to the studio with 4 seconds left. It was brutal, but we did it.
Yeah, I
pulled
told
together.
Win. They're all right. They're good.
You were right. I should trust you more. You're right. Well, April 2nd is PB&J's Time to Shine. It is National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day today. I'm about to upset everyone in this room, full of peanut butter and jelly lovers, by saying I don't like PB&J's.
What?
I know.
What?
It is a childhood favorite treat, and let's be honest, according to this script, which clearly I didn't write, it is still just as satisfying when you're an adult.
I'm really excited for where we're at right now with the Avs. Let's see where we go. Gabe Landeskog is back. Game 1 is on Tuesday night.
Yeah, some excitement on the ice. We like it. And hey, something else you could put on ice today, some lemonade.
Oh!
That's right. Squeeze in some time for lemonade today. It's National Lemonade Day.
Nice.
You've waited for it all year long. It's finally here. It's actually a whole campaign to teach kids the power of entrepreneurship through opening a lemonade stand. We're just learning that a jury of 12 people found Karar Al-Khamasi guilty on several charges here at the El Paso County Courthouse today. Police believe that last night someone came around the side of this business here on Colorado Ave. They stepped on this chair, then they pushed in this window and broke in. What happened next caused tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage. We watched them put up this memorial this morning with flowers just feet from the crime scene. While law enforcement works to investigate, the Boulder community works to heal. You can see actually a march has kind of formed here in downtown Colorado Springs. You can see folks even actually trying to stop traffic here to keep this march going. We're still waiting for the coroner to show up, but you can see that the Metro Crime Lab is here right now. Still a fairly active scene this morning. We know around 8 o'clock someone came home to find 2 of their roommates dead, 1 man and 1 woman. I do want to warn you that a lot of these details I'm about to share with you are pretty hard to hear, but today we learned that Gannon was shot, stabbed, and had his skull fractured before he was found under a bridge in Florida weeks after he vanished. Victoria had a very difficult time talking to me today without crying. She lives here in Colorado Springs, but nearly 6,000 miles away. Many of her friends and family are huddled together, taking this tense situation minute by minute.
Sirens all over cities. People trapped. There's nowhere to go.
Victoria Neville sits in her Colorado Springs home, waiting.
Every hour I call and check on my friends and my family.
They're hiding now in Kiev, Ukraine. Her dad relaying what they're all going through.
There was explosion, and he said it was so loud and so hard. He thought all his windows gonna burst. It was so scary.
Victoria spent the first 25 years of her life in Ukraine. Russian forces now move through the streets of the country she loves, full of people she loves. She said people are prepared to fight, joining the army, donating blood.
A lot of people help each other. It's Ukrainians. What we have is character. We have that character. We're gonna make it.
She called her dad, hiding in a basement, to check in while we spoke to her Thursday morning.
And they heard news like Any time can be an attack from sky.
She closed out her call,
Спасибо.
knowing it might be the last time she'll speak to him. Her father left for Ukraine just 2 weeks ago. He's waiting on a green card to come to the U.S., but he felt he had to go back to protect Victoria's older sister and her family.
When you're a parent, you cannot think about your own safety.
Many of Victoria's friends are there too, hiding. She knows she could lose them at any moment.
Actually, one friend who lives right on the border with Russia, she's kind of said me goodbye. I'm okay.
She wants people to know that she doesn't think this will end in Ukraine. She prays other nations take action now before Putin keeps going.
He will go to Poland, he will go to Turkey. He wants to be on top. He wants to tell the U.S. what to do. What devastates me, I heard a lot of stories from my grandma about World War II, and I never thought I'm gonna have my own stories.
But for now, all her loved ones can do is pray.
They are attacking, shooting anywhere, everywhere, any moment. It's no safe place. And I discussed with my friends what is the plan. There is no plan, and nobody knows what is next.
Now, I asked Victoria what people here can do to help. She said pay attention, be alert. She fears this invasion is only the beginning. Live here in Colorado Springs, I'm Sydnee Scofield, KRDO News Channel 13. We were allowed to record video but not audio from Amy Carr's court appearance this morning. We also just received the autopsy report, and we do want to warn you, some of this information can be disturbing. Looking down, swaying back and forth, 19-year-old Amy Carr faced a judge today. She spoke only once to confirm she understood what was going on. Amy is looking at a first-degree murder charge in the death of her newborn baby girl. Amy's parents found the child buried on their property back in January and called 911, not knowing their daughter had been pregnant. Amy told investigators that her baby was stillborn, and she tried to resuscitate her before ultimately burying her in her own backyard in Yoder, where Amy's parents would find the child less than a week later. The autopsy report initially backed up Amy's story. The coroner noted some abrasions on the baby's neck, chest, and abdomen, but ultimately said there wasn't any evidence the child survived delivery or lived long after birth. They ruled the cause of death as undetermined. Around 5 months later, in early June, detectives finally received Amy's Snapchat records. They painted a very different and very dark picture of what happened to baby girl Carr. Court documents obtained by KRDO allege that Amy sent messages to the baby's father saying she didn't want to have kids. The documents also show that she searched the internet for ways to harm the baby while she was still pregnant. Her messages also provided a possible reason for those abrasions on the child's neck. Amy sent a message saying she strangled the little girl right after she was born. Court documents say the baby's father messaged Amy saying he was surprised the baby was, quote, alive and not stillborn. She responded by messaging, quote, seriously, me too, and how long I had to strangle it before it even stopped breathing. Strong little girl. The coroner is updating the autopsy report now that this evidence has come to light, though that new report is not yet available. Now, Amy will not be eligible for bond until her preliminary hearing, which today a judge set for mid-August. She'll remain behind bars until then. Live at the El Paso County Courthouse, I'm Sydnee Scofield, KRDO News Channel 13. Shirley and Lynn got in their car and drove all the way from the Midwest to come right here to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, hoping to help find their sister Jane, who went missing here from Colorado back in 2018.
I don't have any answers, and I just want some. I just want her to either come home or have closure. That's all.
It's been 3 long years since anyone has heard from Jane Mutter.
She got a heart of gold. She's, she'd do anything for anybody.
The 58-year-old was last seen by her landlord at a room she rented out of Cascade, Colorado. Her case is being investigated by the El Paso County Sheriff's Office as a missing persons case. Some say she went to Texas and just doesn't want to be contacted. Her sisters aren't buying it.
I don't know. Do you leave to go to Texas without your wallet? Do you leave without your phone?
And now, though they want to keep hope that she's alive, at this point, they just want the sheriff's office to give them an answer either way.
She's not used any money out of her bank accounts. She hasn't renewed any of her medicines. And if it's a cold case, then tell us so we can hire our own investigators so that we can find out what happened to her.
So they traveled hundreds of miles from the Midwest to ask for those answers in person.
I'm wondering if I could speak to somebody in reference to Jane Mutter's case as far as her being missing.
After meeting with detectives, they didn't learn much, but they did set up a regular Zoom call to get updates every few weeks. So they ended up doing the only other thing they could think of.
This is my sister, and she's been missing from Colorado Springs area for 3 years.
They asked local businesses if they could hang up missing posters, hoping to get more eyes on her photo.
Somebody's got to know something. Somebody has to have seen her.
As they wait for a break in the case, Jane's family has put their lives on hold, hoping for the day she might come home.
I've put my wedding off twice. You know, my son's about to graduate high school next year. My other son and daughter have graduated since she's been gone. And it's devastating. I don't know. I don't sleep.
Now, if you know anything about what happened to Jane, please contact the El Paso County Sheriff's Office right away. You can find that phone number on our website, krdo.com. Live here in downtown Colorado Springs, I'm Sydnee Scofield, KRDO News Channel 13.